Really appreciate everybody joining today. This is our first of many Toolbox Tuesday series. What we're going to aim to do here is every other Tuesday, highlight one of our tools in depth. We've got 17 tools currently out on Microsoft AppSource, and the one we're going to be deep diving into today is our Advanced CRM tool. So the Advanced CRM tool is going to sit directly inside of Business Central, and the agenda for today is going to be highlighting some of the key features that differentiate what we're doing versus what either you as an organization or some of your clients are going to be doing as opposed to or as an alternative to Dynamics CE. So some of the things that you're going to see in today's presentation that Grant's going to do live are our relationship management functions, which include enhancing the contact card in order to get more use out of leads, opportunities, and customers, activity logging, which is going to allow you to see the life cycle of your leads and opportunities into their customer journey, and then task creation so that your sales reps and sales managers can stay atop their tasks and make sure that they're completing things in order to drive your sales cycle. Additionally, we're going to go into dashboarding, both from a rep and a manager perspective, so that your reps and managers can track how their team is doing start to finish and tracking their big opportunities, when those opportunities are going to close, and the life cycle journey of those leads, opportunities, and customers. And then finally, we're going to talk about some other enhancements that we've made, again, all directly in Business Central. So those are going to highlight our sales estimates and quoting activities, as well as our marketing automation. So Grant, real quick, before you go into the live demo, I just want to mention for everybody else that has just joined here, we have disabled the chat, but we've enabled the question and answer. Grant and I have put a test Q&A in the question and answer. So during the presentation, if you have any questions, the video and audio is muted for everyone other than me and Grant, just to eliminate interruptions, but I will be answering all the questions as we go. So I highly encourage questions. I'll be responding to them live as we go, and we'll also probably leave 5 minutes at the end to do live Q&A where we can talk through it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Grant. Grant's going to jump directly into Business Central and show you some of the cool things we've been building over the last few months.
That sounds like a game plan. Thanks for the pass off, Ben. So as Ben was talking about, everyone, we're kind of following that same philosophy that ERP Connect has followed with all of our extensions. We're focused on simplicity, transparency, and really providing a nice fit for a lot of those gaps that you'll typically see in Business Central out of box. So if you have a client, or if you are someone that is an end user of Business Central and you're not quite ready for a Microsoft CE or CRM, or you're not quite ready for a Salesforce, or you have a smaller business with only a few sales representatives or a smaller marketing team, this is kind of the extension that you've been looking for. All right, Ben, can you see my screen? All right, we got a thumbs up. Let's do it. So first things first, everyone, like all of our extensions, our Advanced CRM tool, like Ben said, is built directly into Business Central. So when you have your sales reps, or when your client has their sales reps actively working throughout the system, the majority of what they need to do does not require them going into a third-party system. This all lives in the Business Central interface. So the first thing we're going to focus on today is relationship management. Now, for those of you that have been working with Business Central for a while, you know that there's typically not too much that Business Central provides with CRM out of the box. So the first thing that we've done here is we have enhanced the contact cards within Business Central. So I'm in the role center right now as a CRM manager, and you can see that we've split out the typical contact card into a lead contact card, opportunity contact card, as well as a customer contact card. When you're in a sales organization, you have different stages of the sales process. We wanted to create something simple where reps could understand exactly what stage their specific prospect is in, and they can easily go into their role center at any time. They can either create a new lead or see the current leads tied to them. They can click directly into these leads, and they can see exactly what stage of the process that they're in. So we've enhanced the contact cards themselves as well. What you'll see is that this contact card gives a full-on prospectus of every single thing that rep needs to understand about their prospect. They're tied to the specific salesperson, so no one's stepping on each other's toes. And there are a lot of new enhancements here around activity logging, as well as task creation. So you can see on the top of this contact card, your reps can now schedule tasks tied directly to the contact. They can make phone calls, send emails, log meetings, log notes. They can do all of these activities, and every single one of them is recorded on the contact timeline and shows up in the lead, opportunity, or customer statistics. So you can go right in and see how many people you have tied to this lead, how many calls have been made, how many emails have been sent. Are there any pending tasks that this rep needs to get done? And all of it is reflected in this activity timeline. So your rep knows exactly when their last contact was made and what they need to do next. The next piece we've done here with this enhanced contact card is we have actually created a feature where you can create a custom profile. So different questions about this lead that pertain to the specific industry the rep's in, as well as different checklists. Have you sent an intro email to this lead yet? Has this lead responded to the intro email? You can customize, slice and dice these any way you want to. You can attach documents if someone has signed a partnership or a client agreement with you, and you can actually attach standard documents to this contact card. What's cool about that is if your rep does want to send an email directly through Business Central, you can set up different templates. Your rep can easily click into the template itself. Everything populates from that contact card. You get that hello, congrats on your first order, send email, ties directly to that rep's Outlook. They can go right into their Outlook and see that email sent. So everything, once again, is about creating simplicity for the rep. You want the rep to make it super easy for themselves to log their activities. You want to make sure that this rep knows exactly what stage they are in the sales process. And of course, too, you want your rep to be able to track every single interaction that they've had. Because when it comes down to it, a rep needs to know what stage they're in, especially if they're receiving high volume or if they're reaching out to numerous leads and opportunities. All that plays in to this specific piece right here. Now, it's really easy to also turn a lead into an opportunity, turn an opportunity into a customer, and all of that plays in to the next piece we're going to talk about today. Before I go into the dashboard sides of things for reps and manager, Ben, any questions that came in?
No questions currently. I did start a thread if anybody wants to share their thoughts on the relationship management functionality or ask any additional questions. I will be answering them throughout the presentation and following up for any that we don't get to. So Grant, I will continue to answer those and interrupt if there's anything in there that's urgent that I want you to show. So I'd say just keep on going.
Let's do it. So we've talked about relationship management, everyone. The next piece here is how are we going to take that wealth of pipeline data, invoicing data, rep revenue generation data, and make it actionable. This is where we're going to start talking about the dashboards. And we're going to start with the sales rep dashboard. So what you're seeing right here, this is tailored to the specific sales rep, and it is showing them every single thing they want to know to be successful in their role. How much revenue they posted today, this week, this month, where they are towards their quota. All of this is customizable on the quota side, by the way. And of course, too, this year, where are they currently at with revenue. From there, the rep can also see what current opportunities they have open. So what is most prevalent to their success right now? What business are they looking to close? You can sort this by contract value, close date, date of last interaction, next task date. Your rep knows exactly what stage they are in the process. And of course, what revenue they currently have that they can capture based off the specific end user that they're going after. So if you have an organization that you're a partner for that has multiple different end users that they're selling to or different types of businesses, your rep can see their revenue opportunity. how many sales they've made by a specific item category. Once again, this is all configurable. Where they are at in quota versus actual, where their contact movement is. So how many leads have turned into opportunities or opportunities into customers over the last 12 months. Same thing with their open tasks and their actual activities. So what you're trying to get after, what we're trying to get after here is there's a lot that a rep cares about. They care about what contributes to their W-2. They care about doing right by their prospects, and they want to push people to that next stage in the process because it is going to create a healthier, stronger pipeline with better sales velocity for them going forward. And of course, if a rep does lose a deal, they want to know the reasoning behind why they lost that deal. So what we've done with this rep dashboard is we have made it very easy for a rep to know where they are right now, to see where their future revenue forecasts are going into the future, and of course, giving them visibility so they can better understand what activities they're doing that are generating more revenue, and if they have lost clients, what the main reasons are. The final piece here is we want to show reps their top customers, especially if you have a sales organization with account managers or client success managers. This is going to be a big piece in terms of giving them that benefit. So what we've done is we built this all into Business Central. That's kind of what we're going to keep touching on here. And all of this visibility leads up to our sales manager dashboard. Now, before I dive in, I know a few more people have hopped in. What we've talked about today so far is we've talked about our advanced CRM tool, relationship management, our enhanced contact cards. We've talked about task management and creation, and we've talked about all of the different ways that you can configure this to your end client, or if you're an end client to your business. Before I go into the manager dashboard, Ben, any questions that came in? All right, I may have lost Ben for a second there. Let's do a quick temperature check here. Could everyone that's currently on the call, if you can still hear me, put some thumbs
Hey,
up
Grant,
emojis.
can you hear me? Can you hear me
All
again,
right,
Grant?
cool. We got some thumbs up. Ben, I can hear you.
Okay, we had two questions, really good questions. One, license type needed in order to work with our CRM. Currently, you do need a minimum of an essentials license. And again, the way we've geared this is towards companies where most of the people are already going to be in Business Central, typically for smaller organizations that aren't quite ready to go to CE, but we are trying to see what we can do to make a team member access certain functions that folks are looking for. So I will absolutely let you know when that functionality is ready. But right now the answer is an essentials license at a minimum. And then Paul had asked what about the phone app, right? So can we see this data on the phone? The short answer is yes. I think as most people know on the phone probably isn't the best place to look at Business Central data in general, but the answer is yes, you can look it on the phone. I found more favorable results on an iPad, either an iPad mini or kind of a full-size iPad, but you can look at it on your phone technically. I don't, but that's just transparency wise. I just don't like doing Business Central things on my phone usually. But that's it for now, Grant.
That's money. All right, so let's talk about the manager dashboard. So we talked about the reps. Reps want to know what contributes to their W-2. They want to understand where they're currently at the process with all their prospects. They want to get visibility into their success. What about the sales manager? Now, it's good to note here that before, in a prior life, I was an individual contributor and a sales manager myself, and we actually do use Advanced CRM at ERP Connect as well for all of our sales activities. So everything here was built in the mind of the individual contributor and their manager. So as a manager, you want to be able to forecast revenue. You want to be able to conduct effective pipeline meetings with your reps so you can make your team stronger. So with this manager dashboard, you have instant access to your reps, where they're currently at in terms of sales versus quota, their year-to-date quota, and their year-to-date sales. You want to immediately know who's top performing, who needs a little bit more work. You want to see opportunities spread out by your specific reps by contract value, and you want to understand when the dates of their last interactions and their current next task dates are. If you're running an effective pipeline meeting with your rep, as a manager, you want to be able to immediately point out, hey, Ben, I want to know where we're currently at with Fort Collins implementation. Looks like there's a lot of opportunity here. Looks like you just recently had an interaction. How'd that meeting go? Or, hey, Matt, how's El Paso Homes going? That's your biggest opportunity right now in the wholesale category. We want to get that one closed so you can hit your quota for the month. Also, you will get a full look at all of your revenue opportunity by your different categories, as well as by your specific salespeople. Who has the most opportunity right now? Who is killing it versus who could use a little bit of a kick in the butt to kind of get them to that next level? Now, when you actually go in and you click on the rep, that will give you instant access to that rep's dashboard. So you can see exactly what the rep is seeing. And as you can see here, it's all about visibility. It's all about simplicity. These dashboards only focus on what's most important. We're not trying to be a Microsoft CE. We're not trying to be a Salesforce. We're trying to give a small to medium-sized business with a few sales reps, all the way up to a business that might have, 10, 20, 30 sales reps, what they need to be effective right now to secure more revenue, to be successful. All right, so before we hop into how we've enhanced sales quotes as well as order bookings, Ben, any more questions that came in after the manager dashboard?
Yeah, one more question, really good question here based on what you showed for the loss reasons. So question from Brett asking, where do we put the reasons for the loss of the sale? Is it static or on the fly? So the answer to that one for everyone listening is it's kind of a mix of both, right? It's not static in terms of a preset list. The list is user defined by you. So you would define what your loss reasons are as a company, right? Maybe for a software company like ours that sells to Business Central, maybe we lost it because they went with F&O or NetSuite, or they're staying on QuickBooks, right? Those would be our loss reasons. But for your organization, the loss reasons might be different. Grant has it up here on the screen, and you just kind of user define these. And then when you lose a deal, it will pop up and say, which of these reasons is the reason you lost it? And then at that time, you select the reason. If for the on the fly scenario, if the reason isn't in here yet and you have access to update this screen, you could add a fourth reason in this case and then tag that reason going forward. So at that time, it would just be based on access. But the short answer is kind of a hybrid of the two. It's not a defined list that you can't change, but it's not a free form field that you can just type into, because we want to track it on a dashboard and we want to be able to report on that. So it kind of does have to be kind of packaged up in terms of these are the preset options that we define, but they're all user defined. So great question. I hope that answers what you're looking for.
And of course, too, Ben, you bring up an excellent point as well in answering that question. We'll talk about pricing and what configuration and training look like for Advanced CRM. But it's good to note that in terms of overall configurability, pretty much everything can live majority in the Advanced CRM setup. Like we said, it's very easy to configure your checklists in here, to be able to go into your email templates, define things by interest level or category. So we like to make that setup phase very easy, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So final piece here, let's talk about estimates and let's talk about order bookings. Now, for those of you that have lived in Business Central for a while, you're probably familiar that sales quoting, there's a few pieces that kind of make it a little bit tougher in an organization. Or maybe you're an organization on this call that, sales quoting might be tough because you need to make someone a customer in Business Central in order to send them a sales quote. So what we've done in this scenario is we've created this new thing called estimates. Now, the whole idea behind estimates is if you're a salesperson and you're working with a lead or an opportunity and they're not quite a customer yet, you still want them to be able to receive a quote from you on different services. So if we're selling someone on this call Advanced CRM, we want to, send them a quote where they can see everything they need to know, but they might not be a customer of ours yet, which is where estimates comes into play. You can go in, you can search any contact in Business Central, whether they're a lead, opportunity, or a customer. You can define what items you're looking to sell to them, and you can easily send over this estimate, convert this estimate to an order, release it, pretty much everything you could do with a sales quote, but now you can do it with leads and opportunities. The other piece when it comes to sales orders is a lot of times it's tough to track sales orders once they've actually been posted. So what we've done is we've created an order bookings page where you can easily see exactly what sales have been posted based off the time frame, booking date, amount, department code or customer group. So whether it's small, medium, or large salesperson type business, salesperson code, item category. Whole idea is to actually make it so at the end of the day, if you have a customer rep that is selling different items or a salesperson that is selling different pieces or tools or whichever item you're working with, you have easy access to this order bookings table. You can see exactly who it's tied to. You can actually calculate what has happened in terms of revenue generation that has been booked that day. All right, I'm going to pause here again because that was a little look at our estimates page and our order bookings that we've created as enhancements on top of what you typically see with sales quoting. Ben, anything there to add?
Nothing to add and no additional questions. The only thing I'll say to update that is outside of what you said, Grant, it really makes it easier to send the estimates instead of having to do quotes. I know technically there is functionality to send quotes to out-of-box contacts in Business Central. What we've tried to do here is split it up so that you can very easily and very quickly send estimates to people who aren't customers yet and kind of reserve that quote creation process for the people who are customers. And then we combine both of those things to show pipeline from a reporting standpoint. And then, of course, once the order's booked, you can see it in this screen that Grant's showing as well as on the dashboard. The only other thing, Grant, I would like to update is when you were going through the lead opportunity customer, you talked about the checklist. One of the things I think is most powerful that we use internally is the ability to require a checklist item to be checked before you go to the next step. So it's kind of a safeguard to say until this task or checklist item has been completed, you cannot make this lead into an opportunity. And same with the opportunity. You cannot make this opportunity a customer until that checklist item has been completed. I know that's one of the most powerful features that a lot of our customers are using today in order to make sure that sales reps are doing their job and making sure the tasks are completed before that opportunity or lead moves to the next step. So those are the only things I would add in that I find really powerful for us and for other people who are using our tool currently.
Beautifully put, Ben. So what we're going to do on this call now, everyone, is I'm going to pass this off to Ben to land the plane here. But what we've talked about so far, relationship management, we've talked about our dashboarding for managers and reps, estimates and quoting, and there are marketing automation tools as well. But I'm going to pass it off to Ben to talk a bit more about pricing and talk about where you can find more information and how you can connect with us on Advanced CRM as well. Let me pull up my PowerPoint real quick. And Ben,
Perfect.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass it off to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Grant. Yeah, and if anybody has any additional questions, we got about 5 minutes left. So I'll run through this in about 2 minutes and then feel free to load the chat up with more questions or the Q&A with more questions, and we'll go through that. So pricing, what does it cost? I'm sure everybody's interested in this, right? So the way we price this is CRM by itself is $1,200 a year. That includes everything you could possibly put in one tenant. So you have as many companies as you want to use if you're multi-company, and you can have as many users as you want. So I know there was a licensing question earlier about, do they need essentials? Do they need this? The answer right now is yes, but to kind of offset that, we don't price per user in our tool. So you could have 100 salespeople in there and it would still be $1,200 a year to put that application into Business Central. Since it's directly embedded, you're not going to need any third-party integration tools to connect the two, and you're not going to need information going back and forth. With that, how long does it typically take to get stood up and configure? I find it usually takes between 15 and 20 hours to get everything configured. There's a lot of optionality that Grant showed in today's discussion, and right around that 15 to 20 hours is how long it takes to set up everything that we went through and do a little bit of training to get you comfortable with the tool before your sales reps can actually start using it in action. And then again, we are a Microsoft shop. We sell CE. We don't sell Salesforce, but it's in there. But we love Dynamics CE, but we realize that it's not the right tool for everybody. And it can be expensive, especially as you're implementing Business Central alongside many other things. So what we've tried to build here is a low-cost alternative to get you about 80% of the functionality that most sales organizations would need to do basic tracking of leads, opportunities, customers, tasks, and some dashboarding at essentially 10% of what it typically costs to implement some of these other tools. So again, I'm a huge advocate for both, but I think this is definitely filling a market need for the people who aren't quite ready to spend the money on CE and just need kind of prepackaged workflows for their sales organization. So that's it on pricing. Feel free to reach out to us on any of our other tools as well. So we're going to continue doing this series every other Tuesday. Our next one is going to be on our Essentials bundle. So not only do we sell these apps standalone, our CRM being $1,200 a year, all of the apps we sell standalone right now between $600 and $1,200 a year. And then we also have bundles. Our top bundle currently is $3,600, and that gives you all 17 applications that we currently have listed in AppSource, as well as rights to any other applications that we put out there in the future. So that license will work with any of our products. So the most you can expect to pay and budget for you or your clients is going to be $3,600 a year. Now, I mentioned on June 13th, we've got a session at 11 a.m. Central. It's going to focus on our Essentials bundle, which is currently $2,400 a year. So it's kind of that halfway point in between some of these standalone apps and our unlimited. What that's going to include is our dashboarding tools, which we've got 3 that are out of box right now, directly embedded into Business Central. We like to think of these as the things that Microsoft probably should have built as a reporting, but leaves it up to others. So we definitely took that opportunity to build our own. We've got a financial dashboard, a sales dashboard, and a history and statistics dashboard, which we can show you in 2 weeks if you sign up for our session. Then we also have 3 automation tools that are in there. Our invoice and statement delivery, which helps automate sending emails to your customers, as well as statements and past due reminders. Our advanced notifications, which you can do pop-up notes, event-driven notes, and ad hoc notes, where you tag your friends like you're on social media and it'll pop up in their email so that they can do something. Then our advanced accounting tool, which the richest feature there is the ability to send reports like your AR and AP directly to your email inbox with a quick data grid, as well as an Excel attachment of all of the aging, for example, if you're doing an AR. So we highly encourage you to join that. Grant, if you could drop the link somewhere. I don't know if you can drop it in the chat or the Q&A. We'll figure that out. But if not, we will email everyone the link for our next Toolbox Tuesday session that focuses on our Essentials bundle. We encourage everyone to sign up for those and continue to join the future and spread the good word to your organizations as well as your clients. So with that, we are spot on with time, I think, Grant. We got about 50 seconds left, which I will open up to Q&A if anybody's got anything else. But in the meantime, Grant did drop that event link for our next Toolbox Tuesday, and the Q&A at the top is a discussion thread. So we highly encourage you to sign up for that. And if not, I think most of you know where to find me. You can find Grant and I on LinkedIn, or you can find us at Grant or Ben at ERP Connect Consulting, and we're happy to answer any of your follow-up questions as they come. So look forward to working with everybody and really appreciate everyone who was able to join today. We will also be sending out the recording for any of your friends who missed the session today. So that's right on time. 1 second left. I think we did pretty good, Grant. We can sign off now, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.